Hashem created the world on a taiva, why should we be expected to fight our own taivas?
I'll answer the question directly. We should emulate Hashem, and we should follow all of our taivas. There's just one caveat, one requisite, one asterisk, and that is that it shouldn't be weakness, it should be strength. Period. Conversation over. That's the answer to the question. What is the meaning of the word taiva in the human experience? Taiva is translated as lust, as desire. I translate taiva as weakness, because that's what taiva is, loss of control. When I desire something, there is a force that's pushing me towards indulgence. And the force which is pushing me towards indulgence is really pushing me towards surrendering my will, surrendering my control, and giving into a weakness. When I indulge in that taiva once and twice and 3 times and 4 times, I eventually become a prisoner to it. I lose control. That's what taiva is. Taiva is weakness. Okay, Hashem has taivas, you have taivas, I have taivas, unfortunately. But our taivas come from weakness. Our taivas come from loss of self-control. Now, what motivates Hashem's taiva? He desires something. He lusts for something, but he's not weak. He's not vulnerable. So why is he desiring it? So again, you want to emulate God's taiva with taivas of your own? Gesundheit, just one thing. It should come from strength and not from weakness. And there's no such thing. In the human experience, taiva means weakness. That's really what it means. When you have not yet indulged and you're lusting, you're being pushed towards losing control, towards becoming weak. And once you've indulged, especially repeatedly, you've lost control and you've become weak. Hashem's taiva is called lust, like yours and mine, but it's not coming from weakness. This is why the Alter Rebbe translates of a taiva is ken kasher. Just like in a human being, when a person lusts, you can't ask why. I want, but it's not good for me. What's the answer? I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, I have no control. Everybody knows about these tests that they've done with mice where they were able to put a wire into the brain or an electrode into the brain of the mouse, that if the mouse would push a lever, it would experience pleasure. And the mouse pushed the lever till it committed suicide. It has no control. An animal. And we also have animal, and taiva is coming from the animal. So in a human being, you can't ask why a person has desire. They're weak, they lost control, they desire. But the Eibush desire is also why, and you can't ask why. But in his case, it's strength and not weakness. And that's the difference between Hashem's taivas and our taivas. Or to say it from a different angle. The expression, the first Maimon in Samach Vov brings this Lashon HaMedrash, and Sava Kadosh Baruch Hu Liyas Leidire Achei Temimim, which of course is also brought in Tanya Perek Lamed Vov. And the Rebbe Rashab adds the word Yizborach, Nesava Kadosh Baruch Hu Liyas Lo Yizborach Dire Achei Temimim. And at the end of that first Maimon, he adds, it means another pasuk, Sheika V'amudei Sheish, that the Eilam Shenishtekya Kadosh Baruch Hu Lebreisa, also same idea, desire, taiva. So the Alter Rebbe says on these two terms, taiva and chukka, of a taiva is ken kasher. You can't ask questions on taiva. What the Alter Rebbe is saying is, we don't have a word in our language to represent Hashem's taiva, because our language is based on reason, and Hashem's taiva is beyond reason. Now, in the case of people, taiva is also not reasonable, but it's less than reasonable. So we understand where it came from, we understand what it is, and we know how we have to deal with it, or how we should deal with it. But we use the word taiva by the Meibishten because we don't have other language. If a taiva is ken kasher means we don't have words to express what it means, that Hashem wants something beyond reason. And it's very important to separate this idea of beyond reason from without reason. Too many people say if it's not logical, then it's less than logic, anti-logical. It's more than logic, it's above logic, it's the will of Hashem. And it's coming not from weakness, but from strength. So I answered the question in short, but I think it's a concise answer, and above all else, that gives us a lot to muse about, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a piece of God within each one of us. And because there's a piece of God within each one of us, there's taiva from strength also. That's the pintel yid, which you see at moments of extreme intensity, like tshuva, mesiras nefesh. It's also taiva. That's a good taiva. because that taiva is in contrast with Hashem's taiva, that's not from weakness. And the taivas that we talk about, the taivas that we want to associate with Hashem's taivas as a heter, as an excuse to be indulgent, is coming from forfeiting our humanity, our weakness. And that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.